Alright, so here's a little process of replacing the door latch. I know a lot of people are having problems with theirs not closing. There's a recall for that on it. What you'll need to do is take the door panel off, which you'll have two 5.5 screws. You'll have a 10mm there, and you'll have two 7mm screws that holds the door panel on. And don't forget to take your electrical connectors off and whatever else, your door handle on it. But to take the latch off, you'll need to pull the door handle out, and you need to pull this cover piece out also. You'll also need to remove this 10mm screw, two of them. Then you'll have three T25. And inside here you'll have a little plug. You want to remove that. And down inside there you'll have a little screw. That's the same thing, T25. Now to remove the handle, what you want to do, you'll need two hands, but you want to pull the handle out, hold it while slowly unscrewing that screw that's in that little hole there. I just take it little by little until the handle actually pulls out all the way. Alright, now you see my handle pull out all the way. What you want to do is kind of pull it out a little bit. Now depending if yours have that electrical connector, I'd probably recommend pulling it out from the inside, unplugging it from the inside. Alright, to remove this little fella, you'll have to loosen it up a little bit more. Just take a couple turns until it pops out just like so. Alright, so I already went on and removed those two 10mm screws on there. And you can go ahead and unplug the connector. There's just a tab. Push in while unplugging. Get that out of the way. And after you got all those screws removed, the handle cover off, got those, like I said, those three that you want to go and get loose. I think I forgot to mention you will have another screw right there. I ended up just taking mine all the way out just to make it easy on myself, but you can loosen it up just enough where it'll slide over since there's just an open cut right there. And after you get those screws, like I said, off, you'll have to kind of push this on through. You might have to do a couple wiggling around, because it comes out as this whole assembly, the latch and the door handle bezel piece. And this is the whole assembly that you had to remove. Now I'll show a video. I'm actually going to be replacing my latch on it, so I'll have to switch over the handle, bezel, and this little trim piece that goes from the bezel on down. I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so obviously this is the old one, this is the new one. I'll have to switch over this cable here. There's another cable back here I'll have to switch over on it. Now what I did on this one here, I just took like a little flat blade screwdriver. You can get it with your fingernail, just pull up on it. Just held in by a little claw basically, and a tab, so when you want to go to put it in, slide this bottom end piece in first. Well, if it don't go flying out, try to do it with the camera. Just push it in till it locks in just like so. Alright, for this cable here that goes to the actual door handle, you do have a tab here. You want to push that back while pulling out. Alright, that took a little bit of a time to get it out. Now it is kind of angled in there, so you want to just kind of move it out. You see how it's angled, so you want to go straight up and down on it. You have to kind of shimmy it a little bit, then it'll go right into place. You might have to twist it a little bit or so on. Alright, let's see if I can kind of show you guys on how it goes in. I basically just kind of went like that, slides right in place. Then what you want to do is make sure that tab is facing downwards, so this tab's facing upwards. I want to turn this away so the tab will lock into place. Should look something like that almost. And just push. I'll have to use both my hands, but you want to just push inwards until you hear that tab click into place. And it should look like this when you're done. Alright, so this one here that runs to the actual outside door handle. This one here is going to be kind of the tricky one. What you want to do is that screw that I told you earlier, you want to tighten that until this thing here clicks all the way down. I don't know how well I'll be able to show it. Basically, you're just tightening that screw. Just keep going at it. You can see it's kind of moving until there. Once when you hear that, you're good on it. Now what I had to do, this one here is pretty tough to get out on it. I had to take pliers and push on this metal frame and this plastic piece and gently squeeze the pliers enough to pop it out of its socket. So basically I just kind of went like that and try to get the best grip as I can onto it. It's hard to do it one-handed, but alright, so I got it out of place. Now what I did here, I just kind of pulled it spring back a little bit, just enough where I can get just the cable to come through this little gap here. Alright, we're almost there. Same thing like this one here. It goes out, up, then over. So you just want to kind of back it off a little bit, and I turn it a little bit, and just pop it out of place. Now all we gotta do, you're gonna have a couple screws, one there and one right here. You want to remove those two screws, and this will take this whole piece, this whole assembly off, and you want to transfer that over to your new latch. Now what I'm doing here, I got my new latch side by side. The way I take it off, I just move it right over, bolt it back on the same way. Now with this one here, you do have a little alignment hole on it, so it lines right into this stud here. So when you got to take this off, make sure that hole goes inside this stud here. I made that mistake the last time. Alright, they are a little bit long screws on it, like I say. It just pops right over. That hole, that little long tube looking thing, get it lined up into that stud there. Then go ahead and put your two screws back into place. After you get those two screws back on, now you want to go and put your cable back into place. What you want to do, like I said, slide this thing through here and up and over. So basically it should fit kind of like that, then flush, just like it fit just like that basically. So kind of basically do what you did reverse. I pull this down enough where I can get just to the cable to slide it in place. The spring will go along here and push through and lock itself back in place. Alright, that's what it kind of looks like. Now all you want to do, I had to take pliers again, push here and push on this metal part here to lock it into place. Alright, now you're in place. You can give it a tug, make sure it's in place, make sure your spring's where it should be and not out of place on it. Now here's the fun part that everybody's probably going to hate. You will need to redo that whole step again, like I say, where you pull the door handle out on it. Now since we got this reset where the door handle would be actually closed up against the car, what we need to do is pull this back as far as you can while unscrewing that screw there on there until this piece here will hold up against this stud here. So basically you'll only go so far on it, but what you want to do is try to get this whole metal bar up and over that a little bit. Alright, so you see how it's kind of supporting it now. It's up against there, not closed downwards on it. So I just use my thumb, push it up as far as I can with my thumb while unscrewing this. So basically when you unscrew this, it is pushing this whole plastic bar that way. When you go to tighten it, it pulls it back to lock it into place. Now here's where you need to get your door handle that you've taken off, so you can get it set in there and get this ready, so when you get this all put back in, it'll be easy. Just slide the handle in, make sure you're in place, and you're good to go. So basically what I'm doing is I'm installing the handle like I would if it was on the vehicle. You got this little hole along here that you want to get this lined up into place. I'm too far. You want to get right into there. Alright, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but what you are trying to accomplish is this piece, this black piece, that little long one, that is part of your door handle. What you are trying to do is get this over those two little arms, that metal arm along there. So let's see if I can take the handle back off. So those two little hands, that one there and this one here, you're trying to get this handle, that little hand, what you're trying to do is get it where it holds it, basically like that. Because this, when you pull on this, this is what's pulling on that cable to unlock it from the outside. So like I said, get this, slide back into place. I don't know how well me explaining this to you, but basically, when you get that in place, you want to hold up, kind of put a little tension to the handle like you're going to close it. Then you want to tighten this bolt till the handle kind of pulls in all the way. So that's what it should look like when you're done. So that black piece is the handle. What you're trying to do is get this metal bar to go underneath of it and hold it. So basically when you go to pull the handle, it pulls this whole piece with it. That's what you're wanting to do. Now, I know some people that's never done it before, it's going to take you quite a bit of time. But like I said, the best way that I did it, I pull this whole metal piece all the way up as far as I can, loosen that bolt, therefore it shoves this closer where this piece here is being supported by that. That's how I find the easiest for me. That will take you a couple tries. I know the first time I did it, it took me several tries to do on it. But now since I've been doing this for quite a bit, I kind of pretty much got the hang of it, know how to do it on it. So now what you want to do, basically, now since we're pretty much finished with all this, you want to do like what we did before we did anything. Pull this handle out and just slowly loosen that screw until you can actually pull the handle all the way out. So basically I'm holding it, I'm going to use my other hand to slowly loosen that screw until I can pull the handle all the way out completely. Now like I say, you don't want to loosen that screw too much, just enough where it lets go of the handle, then you're good. Alright, so I got the handle apart. So that's what I kind of mean, where basically this piece here is being wedged up against here. That's what you want. Therefore you can get your handle up and around that little metal claw over there. So that's all there is onto that. Now you're ready to go ahead and put it on the vehicle. Go and take the door handle completely out. Alright, while you're at it, go ahead and double check everything. I realized I forgot my little cover piece here, so I'll need to throw that on real quick. Just double check, make sure all your cables in place. Then you're ready to go ahead and put it on the vehicle. Alright, I got mine kind of in there, but what you want to try to do, I had to hold my hand on the inside of the door, try to finagle with this piece here. There's a little lip here that you want to go over the car, just like you see here. Make sure your screw holes lined up in place. I'll go ahead and put that screw in there. Alright, I got that screw in there. You want to make sure that those little tabs also pull out all the way. That's in place. That's there. Tabs holding. So everything looks good there. Now you want to try to finagle with your door latch by wiggling it a couple places. Make sure your holes all are lined up into place. Make sure your little child lock gets lined up in place also. You can go ahead and put in your screws there. Alright, so I got those 3 screws in. Everything lines up pretty decent on it. Ran my cable through. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my door handle and little latch piece in place. I like to start with the piece here first, then I'll do the door handle. Now this piece here just pushed right on in. Now I'm ready to do the door handle. Slide it in, make sure you get your connector, if you got passive touch, plugged in. Push on the door handle while slowly tightening that screw. And hopefully it will catch and pull the handle in. If it does not, if you hear a pop sound and the handle's still sticking out, you'll have to take this whole latch apart and redo it, where that little metal piece will grab onto the actual door handle. So I ran into that problem where I couldn't get it pushed in enough, and I heard the pop sound, meaning it's locking in place. Well, my handle's still out, so I gotta take this all back apart and redo it again to get it where it catch it. Alright, since this thing latched on me and didn't grab the handle, I gotta redo that. I need to pull this. I need to close it in first, so I need to tighten it, which will pull it this way. Then I'll need to hold this all the way up. Then loosen it, because this metal piece here will be pushed there. I need to hold it up, then loosen it, therefore it'll pull it back and hold it up against here. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Got it holding there, so let's try this again. Alright, so the second go around I finally got it. You want to test it out, make sure it opens and closes, then you know you're good. So now go ahead, plug in your connectors for your door handle if you got the passive touch. Go and plug in your door latch. I forgot to run this through, but you just want to kind of bend it and poke it through this hole. Lock the grommet in place, just like so. When you're done, put that panel piece back up if you can. Re-glue it or add some more of that sealer onto it. Then go and put in your door panel. Don't forget to put in your little body plug. Make sure that's tight too, snug. Make sure those are nice and tight. Like I said, put on your door panel, put everything else back on, and you're good to go. So hopefully that video helps you out on replacing the door latch. Thanks for watching.